The video you'll be seeing is not professional advice, and any activities you do yourself on your own vehicle are at your own risk. Okay, so this is my 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander. It's just a run through of the panels that you'll need to remove in relation to getting access to certain parts of the car to put wiring in. Just to give you an idea, so you'll see I've replaced this switch here. That's the light bar override switch to make it all. I will just mention the light bar only triggers when you turn the high beams on. When you turn the high beams off, the light bar automatically comes off. That override switch is just another switch that is required by law in New South Wales. All nice and legal in New South Wales, not sure about the legislation in other states of Australia. To get access, you basically have to go through a few stages of removing panels. First one will be this one, which I'll actually take off now just to give you an idea, and then I'll show you the other panels. This one here, sorry. Okay, so firstly this part comes off. There's a few ways to do it. Basically it just comes up like that. There's a clip there, there's a clip there. Maybe a bit tougher on your one because I've done this numerous times. But that's how the first panel comes off on both sides. After we've got that panel off, we then move to this side where this panel has to come off. Now to get this one off, it's a little bit trickier. We've got to take this little part off, which opens the bonnet, like that. There's the little screw back there that you've just got to unscrew. Now then moving up the side, we then have to take this panel off. But to get this panel off, this trim has to come off. I've already partially taken this off. Make sure you use trim removal tools when doing this. Take that last part off and exposes that. This part here clips off like so. Like that. I'm not going to take it all off. So once that part comes off, you can then take this part. However, there is a screw just down here that you need to take off as well before taking this panel off. This panel is just held in by clips. You'll need to basically pull from both sides. Now it's a little scary when you first take it off because you think you're going to break things, but the actual entire panel will come off. And then you'll also get access to this switch that I replaced. And then once that's out, you can then move on to the next part. It is important to note that you have to go in that sequence, otherwise the parts will not come out. Now down here, there's another panel here, and there's a little clip right at the back where you have to push into the center, and the clip will then come out. That'll give you access to then underneath over there where you'll run wires through. Okay, to get behind the dash, because if you put in the CAN-mate device, which taps into the CAN bus, you have to get this part of the dash off. It looks very scary to do, and the first time I did it, it certainly was. But simply, this part here pulls out. A little bit of tugging. Oh, forgot about this part. Alright. Didn't show it here, but this trim panel has to come off, much like the other one. So that one has to come off. So back to here. Take that off. Now, if you can see here, there's a few little clips at the back here that you just need to clip off. These just come off that material. And then in here, there's a screw down there. And I don't know if you can see, may not be able to see down here. There's another screw down there, which I just can't quite get the camera into, but there's 3 screws. Once those screws are taken off, so once this panel comes off, that whole dash will come out, and then there's a couple of plugs you need to unplug. Be very careful with it. And that's how you get behind that unit. Right, so back on this side, this is the trim panel that I took off partially. That's it fully off. Now, to get access to under here, it's a little bit more complicated. So as mentioned on that other side, you got to take this panel off. You got to take this panel off. You've got to take the side panel off. The glove box has to come out. The glove box comes off by, there's a little piece here that just pops off. Down there, I don't know if you can quite see that. It's just there, it just slides off. Glove box then, there's two catches here which just need to be pushed at the same time. This is very tough to get out because it takes a fair bit of force to get it out. And then the glove box will come out and you can just unclip it. Quite straightforward. Here's actually one of the fuse boxes as well. The inner fuse box, which I've had to, there's a few things tapped in there, cameras and stuff like that. Put that back on for now. Now to get the whole glove box assembly off, there's 7 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's 2 under here which you can't see because once the glove box comes out you can get it off. Once that all comes off, that'll come as one piece and you need to pull this out as well, all as one piece. That will then give you access, which I don't know if you can see, no, because it's all blocked off. So under here I've run all my cables through there, which you can't see at the moment, but I'm not taking it off again because I've taken it off so many times and I just really don't want to take it off again. All I will say is if you're not confident in doing this, don't do it. If you're willing to have a bit of a crack at it, give it a go, but it is a bit tricky with the panels and the wiring. Okay, to feed the cable through the firewall, I'll show you where it comes out in the engine bay. This is pretty tricky, but to give you an idea, I'm going to zoom in. So this is the engine, obviously. So this will show you where I'm actually looking. You might be able to see one of the red cables I've got poking through. The other ones I've actually got in conduit. There's a big rubber grommet where there's a big wiring harness coming through. Sorry it's so shaky, but I've really zoomed in too early to get that red wire in there for you to see. You can see through the big red grommet. That's how the wiring's coming through for both my UHF radio and for the light bar. With regard to the light bar wiring, there's the relay for the trigger. I'm not going to tell you how to wire up the light bar itself because you either know or you don't. There's plenty of research if you want to go ahead with that. Don't want to be giving too advice and getting it wrong. Anyway, so there's the actual, this wire here is the power wire actually out to the light bar. And that runs up through there and then up through the window, and I've got it in a protective sleeve. And my UHF antenna cable is on the other side. I just want to highlight, if you're not comfortable in doing any of these practices, please do not attempt to do this yourself, and what I've mentioned in the video is certainly not professional advice, so anything you do is at your own risk. But thanks for watching.